There is a wild hog in these woods. It's a long day, it's a long day. There is a wild hog in these woods. It's a long, long day.
Hi, I'm Gary Callis. I'm the Executive Director of the Wilmar Neighborhood Center. Welcome to our space virtually. The Wild Hog in the Woods Coffeehouse folks asked me to speak a little bit to you tonight about the Wilmar Center, what we've been doing during this incredible, unprecedented time of COVID-19. The center, of course, is also social gatherers, not social distancers. Song, dance, fitness classes, programs for youth, teenagers, elementary age kids, food pantry, emergency food services. And all this is done with groups of people and people just like you coming to the center. But because of COVID-19, everything has changed. Everything is turned upside down. The needs are still there. We're still providing them through our youth services and our emergency food services. The Wilmar Center roughly has a $500,000 to $600,000 budget, and the festivals provide over half of that. And this year they were all canceled due to COVID-19. We have been reaching out to people just like you to ask them to continue to support our services, continue to support our mission in lieu of the big loss that we took this summer. We plan to come back better. Willie Street Fair, Fête de Marquette, Atwood Fest, and some of the other smaller ones we're involved with. All I can say is I hope you can think about providing some support to the center and support the Wild Hog in the Woods. We are struggling social gatherers through the services and programs and services we provide. Help us, please, as much as you can.
Hi there, I'm Stephen Lee Rich. I did the booking of talent for Wild Hog in the Woods Coffee House. We've been doing this since 1978. We're a nonprofit group that provides acoustic, singer-songwriter, folk, and bluegrass music. Our entertainers are supported through a small pig, a tip jar, which we call Philip the Pig. In this case, since we are a virtual concert, we have a virtual Philip. And we ask you please to donate generously. The proceeds will be split evenly between the entertainers and the Wilmar Center. Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Jamie and I live in Seattle. Cordy lives in North Carolina. We go way back, not only way back beginning of the hog, but also we grew up together. And really special. Literally. As kids. Be here.
So you probably heard some of the stories, but it was with some of the people around here sitting around living rooms and a bunch of young people talking off the tops of our heads. Hey, let's put on a show. And sure enough, we did. We sat in living rooms and said, gosh, it would be great. We would play music together, and it'd be great if we had a place that we could do this on a more regular basis where maybe some other folks could hear us. And somehow it happened.
Well, I have to start off by saying that it's partly because of Mr. Gordy Hinners that I play this instrument here. And in those early days of the hog, a whole bunch of us hoggers, I think there had to be 8 people in one car, went to a little festival in Remus, Michigan, and that's where I bought my first banjo. And Gordy and I think Jamie and Pete and maybe Debbie, I don't remember who all was here. I remember hearing Hazel Dickens and the Red Clay Ramblers and thinking, this is the music I've been looking for. Well, since that time, I've become a cowgirl. But in part because of Gordy being here tonight, I'm going to play my banjo.
Watch this, folks. See how KG puts that strap over the big hat of hers? It's amazing.
The ranger here is a true cowboy. He's easily amused. Well, there's so many friends here, but in case anybody doesn't know us, I'm KG. It stands for cowgirl. It also stands for Karen Gogolik, if you know how to spell. This is my husband, the ranger. His real name is Rick Rolchin, and it's easier to just call him Ranger Rick.
Ranger Rick. The luckiest cowboy in the world. I'm married to KG.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
And we met each other because of the Wild Hog in the Woods Coffeehouse.
That's true. Yep.
We both showed up to play at one of the barn dances, and at that time I was playing a big old stand-up bass, and so was Ranger Rick.
Boom, boom. I liked her bass.
And I asked him to join us in a band called Stone Soup that I was playing in at the time, and we were backing up the Kickapoo Cloggers, some of who are here tonight. And so that started something because we both started bringing in these old-time cowboy songs to our music in Stone Soup, and pretty soon it became obvious that we belonged together. But we're going to start off tonight with a song that is, it's a cowboy song, but it's an Australian cowboy song. It's down under in Australia where the cowblokes are.
Cowblokes, yeah.
They use dogs to help them in the roundup, and the way sheep herders in other countries work with dogs. And so if you listen to this song in the chorus, you'll hear the cowboys giving the commands to the cattle dogs, telling them what they need to do in the roundup. And the dogs have great cowboy dog names. Their names are Rover and Roy. So it's roundup time in Australia. Up before dawn and ride till the morning. Straddle your saddle, whistle your dogs. Out on the grassland, the cattle are resting, surrounded by darkness or hidden by fog. Come behind Rover, way ahead Roy. It's roundup time on the station, old boy. With the yodelee-lay, over the pasture, cantering faster, leaping the rushes and fording the streams, crossing the bridges and mounting the ridges, stirring and rousing the herd from its dream. Round 'em up, Rover, head 'em off, Roy. It's roundup time on the station, old boy. With the yodelee-lay, dee-dee-dee-oh, hey-dee-dee-dee-oh, hey-dee-oh. With the yodelee-lay, dee-dee-dee-oh, hey-dee-dee-dee. Herded together, a bull cow or a heifer, barking of cattle dogs, bawling of steers, crossing the hillsides and stringing the ridges, down through the valleys and the gullies they veer. Get 'em home, Rover, steady down, Roy. It's round up time on the station, old boy. With a yodel-dee-dee-lay, dee-dee-dee-oh, hey-o-dee-dee-lay, oh, hey-dee-oh. With a yodel-dee-dee-lay, dee-dee-dee-oh, hey-o-dee-dee-lay, oh-lay-dee. Down past the ranch house and into the gateway, ranking and sweating and snorting they pass. So break off the lead, Roy, and bring up the stragglers. They'll soon settle down well when daylight has passed. Get away, Rover, way home now, Roy. The cattle are ready for Brandon, old boy. With a yodel-dee-dee-lay, dee-dee-dee-oh, hey-o-dee-dee-lay, oh, hey-dee-oh. With a yodel-dee-dee-lay, dee-dee-dee-oh, hey-o-dee-oh, hello-dee, hey-o-dee-oh, hello-dee.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so
I
much.
have 23 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. Yeah, it's a trip. And as I get older, one of the things that I keep thinking about is what do we leave our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren that has meaning? Money really doesn't fill that bill, you know, properties don't. But love and compassion and understanding of other people and reaching out to our neighbors and our friends in a good kind of a way, as they say on the reservation, is really important. And I think about it, up where I live, we have what's called the 7th generation thinking. And our job is to make sure that any decision that we make that involves our water, our land, our air, the common treasury, that we think about what it's going to do and where it's going to be in the 7th generation. And that's something that is becoming real critical for us. So I think of this song and I think of what our responsibility is, because no matter who wins the elections or what company's pissing us off, the fact is it all comes down to how we live together and what we do with each other. And that's more important than what they're up to. We are passing this world on to our kids. From the moment they crawl from their cribs, and we try to teach them well, to show them they are loved, but in the end all we can do is hope our best was good enough. For they'll witness how this world can be so beautiful and cruel. We can't shelter them forever, but if we show them all the tools, they might leave this world in a little better shape than me and you. For we are only passing through. That's the chorus. Passing through. Passing through. Passing through. Passing through. We are only passing through. Passing through. Passing through. Passing through. Passing through. We are only passing through. We've been watching this world from our living rooms. Nearly 50 years since we walked on the moon. Why this big blue ball keeps shrinking, I don't know if that's good. But for better or for worse, the whole world's our neighborhood. No place left to run to, we can stay above the fray. We need to learn to get along and not just get our way. Not only for each other, for our children's children too. And we are only passing through. Passing through. Passing through. Passing through. Why we are only passing through. Passing through. Passing through. And we are only passing through. Sometimes I wonder just what I'll pass on. What can one voice do with just a song? Time's injustice and indifference are the only things I see, but I refuse to let my hope become their latest casualty. So I'll sing of love and truth, try to practice what I preach. And if I can't change the world within my reach, and what better place to start than here and now with me and you? And we are only passing through, passing through, passing through, passing through. Why, we are only passing through, passing through, passing through, passing through. And we are only passing through. Yes, now we are only passing through.
You know, if you need something to put your liquid in, they have these great cups back there. They're cheap. I am going to use a little of this. So a little white powder always helps. 40 years ago, but no, I won't go there. Thanks.
So I thought I'd do a Woody Guthrie song. Hopefully you'll join me. It's got a great chorus. And I'd like to put it out with a nod to our friends in California going through all the awful things they're going through with the non-global warming issues. Lots of folks back east, they say, are leaving home every day. Beat the old hot dusty way to the California line. Across the desert sands they roll, getting out of that old dust bowl. Think they found a sugar bowl. This is what they find. The police at the port of entry say, 14,000 for today. If you ain't got the dough, raise me, boys. You ain't got the dough, raise me. You better go back. You better go back to beautiful Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Georgia, Tennessee, California. Buy a horse or a farm that can't do nobody harm. Take your vacation by the mountain or the sea. Don't swap your old cow for a car, you won't get very far. Take this little bit of free advice from me. As I look at the one-heads every day, this is what the headlines say. You ain't got the do-re-mi, boys. You ain't got the do-re-mi. Oh, you better go back to beautiful Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Georgia, Tennessee. California is a garden of Eden, a paradise to live in or see. But believe it or not, you won't find it so hot if you ain't got the do-re-mi. Oh, believe it or not, you won't find it so hot. You ain't got the do-re-mi.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a while since I've been up on a stage anywhere. Well, these days I appear mostly nightly in my living room. I want to thank Deb Kometz for the loan of the guitars. I flew out yesterday, and given what airlines tend to do with guitars, I decided to travel without one. You know, you can't, they're too big to fit in the overhead compartment on the way out, though usually not on the way back. But since I have only one song, I'm going to do a Wisconsin song. That's good. It's called Memories of Old Richland County. Now I can remember that ice-cutting time, skating on the pond by the railroad line, dancing with the furniture all pushed aside, in the house of Jan Larson and his new bride. Those times they come back prominently here in my memory of old Richland County. Making patterns in the frost on my way to school. Stubble fields glistened in the morning like jewels. Last apples hanging high in the tree. In the season of the press and the grinding wheel. And I think of it all so joyously here in my memory of old Richland County. Now I can remember the wagon wheels, the smell of the mud in the springtime fields, our daffodils blooming in the churchyard still, and the violets all purple on a sunlit hill. I think of it all so happily here in my memory of old Richland County. I can remember the ice-cutting time, skating on the pond by the railroad line, dancing with the furniture all pushed aside, in the house of Jan Larson and his new bride. And I remember it all so happily, here in my memory of old Richland County. Here in my memory, old Richland County. Thank you.
Well, good evening. I don't know how many years it's been. I don't remember much after 1955 anyway, so it's all been a blur. A good blur, and part of it for me was this club and this coffee house. I actually started performing in public here many, many, many years ago. And one story I'd like to share with you quickly. In 1983, my oldest son was involved in an accident, and he passed away. And I had just played here. And a couple weeks later, I went out to the mailbox and there was a big manila envelope, and I opened it up and it was full of money that had come from a benefit that people here at the Wild Hog had done for a folk singer and his family. And I will be forever grateful for that welcome to this community. I'm thinking about, I don't know, a little echoey there. And I had a whole idea what I was going to do, and I come in, I saw everybody, and looked at the booklets and decided that wasn't what I wanted to do, so I'm going to do some different things for you tonight. I'm 2 weeks out of carpal tunnel surgery. Doctor did a great job.
We thought he'd be playing air guitar tonight, but he's not going to be playing air guuitar, so I might not
think
be
about.
needed.
Go ahead, finish.
Oh, I did.
Oh. And so I think about a lot of the people that were here over the years and some of the songs that were played here by others, and this is one that I want to do. It's written by a great Madison writer, Stuart Stotts. And it's got a chorus, and this is a folk club, right? And this is a folk song, and you are the folks, n'est-ce pas? Okay. Here's your part. There was music in my mother's house. There was music all around. And there was music in my mother's house, and my heart still feels full with the sound. Ready? There was music in my mother's house. There was music all around. There was music in my mother's house, and my heart still feels full with the sound. We had wind chimes in our windows. There were bells inside the clock. There was an organ in the corner and tunes on the music box. Why, we sang when we were cooking, working out in the yard. Oh, we sang although times were pretty hard. And there was music in my mother's house. There was music all around, and there was music in my mother's house, and my heart still feels full with the sound. Why, she taught us all piano, and my sister has the ear. She can play the melody, why, to any song she hears. Why, now I don't claim much talent, though I love to play, and I guess I will till my dying day. And there was music in my mother's house. There was music all around. mother's house, and my heart still feels full with the sound. And now the days come back so clearly, although they're far away. She gave to me the kind of gift I love to give away. Why, we sang when we were cooking, working out in the yard, and we sang although times were pretty hard. And there was music in my mother's house, there was music all around. And there was music in my mother's house, and my heart still feels full with the sound. One more. There was
Music in my mother's house. There was music.
and my heart still feels full with the sound. Yes, my heart still feels full with the sound.
This is one that I wrote during a snowstorm when I was stuck down in Stoughton. I'd like to dedicate this to my wonderful neighbors and friends from Stoughton who came up. And Lisa has found a beautiful harmony for it, and I only wish I had known she was doing that when I recorded it. But anyway, yeah, she's got it now. It's beautiful. So thank you so much for all these years. Thank you, all the beautiful volunteers like Lisa who have kept the home fires burning all these years. It's been great. Snowbound in this sweet little town, it's drifted to my door. Gotta shovel it some more. Sunlight on the white snow shines so bright on this February morning that I'm snowbound. Slow down, 'cause I cannot leave this town. Might as well just sit back and enjoy the winter sounds. Redbird and my feeder shine so bright. His feathers are on fire in the streaming morning light. But I'd love to be snowbound with you by my side. We'd ski at Lake Higansa, have coffee by the fire, play Scrabble by the lamplight. Harmonize till dawn, but you're in some far off town and I am snowbound. Downtown there are shops under the snow. I'll bundle up and walk there. Nice to have a place to go. Home now, think I'll pour a glass of wine. Feel cradled in the softness of this sleepy winter time. But I'd love to be snowbound with you by my side. We'd ski on Lake Higansa, have coffee by the fire, play Scrabble by the lamplight. I'll even let you in, but you're in some far off town and I am snowbound. My
Well, I had the honor of playing the first weekend that the Wild Hog was open back at 605 University Avenue.
November 31st.
I was going to say that. The original poster, Roxanne, I think, played on November 30th, and I was one of 4 or 5 musicians that played on November 31st. And we were about to hang posters all over town, and someone said, there is no November 31st. So my actual anniversary with the Hog is December 1st. But that was my first public performance. I had done an open mic or two, and other than that, I had never played in front of people before. And the Wild Hog, that's one of the things, this has been an incubator for so many musicians around town. And since that time, starting in the year 2000, my husband and I went full-time with our music, and tonight is show number 2,791 in our career as KG and the Ranger. So this place is very dear to my heart. I was one of the people early on who did what Jamie, and I'm sorry I don't know the name of the other person running sound tonight, but I used to do what Jamie is doing tonight. And one of the wonderful things about volunteering to run sound is you get to really focus on the music that's being played. And there was just nothing better than sitting right in front of those speakers and twiddling the knobs on the soundboard. And if you want to learn how to do that, there's occasional workshops to teach you how to do that, and you can come and volunteer and hear some of the best music that you'll hear in town here.
So if we sound bad, it's their fault, right? No, just kidding.
Well, I'll stop talking. We love the history behind some of these old cowboy songs, and this song goes way back to the 1800s, and there was a poor beat-up cowboy who got busted up in a wreck with cattle and horses and broke every bone in his body, was recuperating in a hospital in Duluth, Minnesota. And as he was recuperating, he would sing to help pass the time. And there was one song that he sang enough that the other cowboys in the hospital ward would keep asking him to sing that song because they all liked it so much. And sooner or later, his doctor must have learned that song, and from hearing it so many times. And later in life, this musical doctor met up with Carl Sandburg when Sandburg was putting together his collection called the American Song Bag. And he passed this song on to Carl Sandburg. So thanks to some poor busted up cowboy and a musical doctor and Carl Sandburg, we can sing it for you tonight. And if you know any of these songs, you're more than welcome to sing along. This is called the Colorado Trail. Ride all the lonely night, ride through the day, keep the herd moving on its way. Weep all ye little rains, wail winds, wail, all along, along, along the Colorado Trail. Eyes like a morning star, cheeks like a rose. Laura was a pretty girl, God Almighty knows. Weep all ye little rains, wail winds, wail, all along, along, along the Colorado Trail. wish I stayed in Abilene, nice and warm and dry. Weep all ye little rains, wail, winds, wail, all along, along, along the Colorado Trail. All along, along, along the Colorado Trail.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is a tune that it's a traditional shape note melody that somebody, and I can't remember who, put it to banjo. It's called Murillo's Lesson, or Murillo's Lesson. Just a lovely thing.
Okay, I'm going to be brave and try one I haven't played in public before. But I have to play it next week, so might as well try it out. This is an awesome song by Fred Small called If I Were a Moose. Is Rex Loker here by chance? I first heard Rex sing this song, and my mom really likes moose, so I knew I had to learn this song. And I think it's based on maybe people like my age might remember. There was, I think it was in the 90s. There was, I think she was a Jersey cow, maybe, and her moose friend, so Jessica the cow, and I don't know that the moose ever got his own name, poor guy. But I think it's based on that, but the song is really about appreciating difference. Okay, here we go. love me anyhow? Would you introduce me to your folks? Would you tell your friends no moose jokes if I were a moose and you were a cow? Would you invite me to your club and risk a cruel bovine snub? Would you lead me down the receiving line and boldly boast this moose is mine? Or would your parents watch us graze, shake their heads, it's just a phase? Or would they thank their stars above, their precious heifers found their love? Would your grandparents change their will? They'd really expected a Holstein bull. For this we toiled before the plow. You bring home someone who's not even a cow. There's plenty of proper stock around, like that nice young Guernsey at Farmer Brown's, or your last one we ridiculed and cursed. On second thought, you could do worse. But if you think this thing will last, could he learn to move and eat our grass? Shed his antlers in the dirt. Could you persuade him to convert? If our anatomies did not quite fit, would you make the best of it? Or would you nuzzle up so near and hum sweet cow tunes in my ear? Or would you sadly break it off while all the hillside sneered and scoffed? You know these moose are all the same. They're lazy, they're stupid, they come from Maine. It's true things slip a moose's mind. The cows remember all the time. Bulbous nose and knobby knees, a coat that harbors ticks and fleas. But a moose can be a handy thing when hungry wolves come visiting. An icy gust of winter storm, our fur is deep and dry and warm. Someday should your milk run dry and farmers stare with baleful eye, in dead of night I'd slip your noose and lead you home to the land of moose. If I were a moose and you were a cow, if hunters came to do me harm, would you hide me in the barn? Would all the herd come on the run and glare until they drop their guns? Might you permit a goodnight kiss? Could you learn to love wet moose lips if I was a moose and you were a cow? If you were a cow and I were a moose. Thank you.
So another one of the very first people to sing at the Coffeehouse was Bacchus Osman right here, and so she's here and
It's jet lag. Oh, okay.
so we said, don't you want to sing a song? And she said, sure. So we're going to have Bacchus sing this, and this is definitely a sing-along.
Yes.
Is that a good time?
By my window on a cold and cloudy day, when I saw that her
be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I would a taker, undertaker, won't you please drive slow? For that body you are carrying, well, I hate to see my mama go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I will follow close behind her. I will hold up and be brave. But I could not hide my sorrow as they laid her in the grave. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
Boccia. Deb Kometz, Jamie Boccia. Thanks.
There is a wild hog in these woods. It's a long day.